So today on Real Estate Matters, we have a very special guest, Dr. JAJA, a senior staff of Ministry of Lands and Survey, Rivers State, Nigeria. Sir, you're welcome on board.
Thank you very much. Thank you for having me.
So we are going to be discussing important insights about land acquisition, documentation, and how you can actually make safe and informed real estate decisions. So, sir, what are those key documents every buyer should have before proceeding to make payment for a property?
First and foremost, a land transaction where there is an exchange of interest. First of all, you need to have the receipt evidencing the payment for the property concerned. Then you proceed again to have it documented, which is the deed.
Okay.
The deed of conveyance or the deed of assignment, as the case may be. This deed then comprises the survey plan showing the subject property in question. After that, the next thing is to proceed for charting for that property. So when you go to chart to ascertain the positional accuracy and all the survey details pertaining to that property are correct, these are the things you need to ensure that you follow the due process.
Right? So, sir, can you help us talk to our people? What is CFO? What does it stand for? The types of CFO and how to acquire CFO, sir?
Well, I'm going to talk in my private capacity, not as a mouthpiece of the ministry.
Okay.
This is more or less like a private tutorial.
Okay.
So I'm going to give you what I know, understand the process are. CFO, which is the Certificate of Occupancy, is a statutory title created by law, by the Land Use Act, which transmitted to Land Use, which was Land Use Decree 1978, which now transmitted to Land Use Act as amended 2004. So CFO is a statutory title that is recognized by law. Besides the CFO, there are other titles or interests in land so documented. You have the deed of conveyance. You have the fee simple, which is comprised in the deed of conveyance. The fee simple absolute in perpetuity, which is comprised in the conveyance, has no time frame, has no limitation of time. But the CFO has a limitation of time. It has 99 years tenure. So you look at it along that line. Before the CFO came, we have something similar to that, which is the building lease. The building lease was overtaken by the CFO. So these are the interests or title you can have in a property, in real estate. But you can also have interest conferred on you, on the person, by a pronouncement of the court. You can have a court judgment which confers property interest on you based on what the court determine as the real issues. So these are ways of obtaining title or interest in a land.
Wow. So, sir, what are the steps of getting your property a legal status and authentic in the eyes of the law?
To get your property legal status, first of all, you go through the process of acquisition, maybe from the natives. You have to get your receipt of payment. That is consideration for the interest for the land being exchanged, for the interest acquired. Get the receipt. You now get a deed properly documented. Then you stamp duty the deed. You get a stamp duty to make it admissible in court, make it a legal document.
At the Ministry of
At Board of Internal Revenue. You go and they get it stamp duty. After that, you now proceed if you want a CFO, because the deed comprises the survey plan. you now subject it to the Office of Surveyor General for charting. You have to chart the survey details of that property interest. After checking and clearing it, you now proceed to have a C of O, which is the highest and best title you can get for a property based on the law in Nigeria. Then if you want to develop, you now have to go to the relevant ministries to get all the clearance papers, building approval from the relevant ministry. You also have to do every necessary soil test and all that. All the professionals in the built environment have to certify to the proprietor good professional handling of the design and everything. So they have to certify all that. Then you get the approval from the required ministry, and then you go ahead and develop. So after you develop, you also pay all your rates and taxes, the ones that are to be paid to the local government and all that. You do that. That's what it is.
So we are actually learning so much, sir. So what are the common mistakes that people make while buying properties, and how can these mistakes be avoided?
People make such mistakes by not doing due diligence, following due process. If you are buying a property from the native or the community, rural community, a native property, properties in the rural areas starts with community, goes down to the family, and then the family apportions to individual members of that family. But initially, land or property is owned communally. Then it breaks down further to family ownership. And then from family, it now devolves to individual members of the family. So if somebody wants to acquire interest in property in a rural setting, in a community environment, first of all, you have to do your due diligence by getting in touch with whoever owns that property in issue, who positions himself as the owner of that property, who wants to transfer the property interest to you. Having come in contact with the person and do the necessary exchanges, it is proper for the person now to go beyond the immediate family of that immediate environment, immediate house of that person, to go a little bit into the extended family to inquire, do a discreet investigation. This man who took me to a farmland or a bush and say it is his own, he wants to sell. Is it his family that owns this place?
Yeah.
Was this place shared to him as a member of the family? Or which family in issue? Where does this family own, and where does you make small? It's they will tell you, look, that place they showed you it does not belong to their family. It's the other family B that own that side. So when you do this due diligence, you'll be able to get properly informed. Or they may tell you, look, oh, no, he's not the head of the family. In fact, the family have not shared the land. So how will he go and then show you the place that he wants to sell? Please don't deal. These are procedures. You do discreet intelligence otherwise you fall into wrong hands and you'll be scammed, and then you get your money lost. After that, if it's property that is the has C of O, that's within the urban area, all you need to do is get the particulars of that property. If the property has C of O, a building lease, let the person who wants to transfer his or her interest show you or give you the particulars of registration of that property that has that title, that has C of O or a building lease. When they give you the registration information, now use it to go to the Ministry of Lands and Survey and then conduct a search, because every property within the government layout, within the government jurisdiction that has title. Every property within that government acquired area has a title, or is in the process of getting a title, a C of O, or a building lease, as the case may be. So if this property has a C of O, the person will have to give you the information, the registration particulars. You take that registration particulars, go to lands, and do a discrete check. So when you go to land, the land registry will check and say, oh, they will now run out the history of that property. They now show you, this property, this is the report. This property is owned by so person. It was allocated to him so year. It has a C of O for this duration. This property is under mortgage. Okay. As at this, they will give you every detail concerning that property. So then you'll be properly guided. Otherwise, if you don't do that search, you may end up buying a property that you cannot access.
So what in the event that the person that bought the property is late and there is no letter of administration or what have you? So what happens? Is it possible for the deceased siblings or relatives to sell the property without any letter?
In the eyes of the law, it's not possible. If a man dies intestate, that is without a will, the survivors cannot deal with that property. One, for the reason that the property is not in their name. It's not in the name of his wife. The property is not in the name of any of his children. The property is solely in his name. So they can't deal, they can't handle that property. They can't transfer, they can't transact with that property without first and foremost going to the probate division of the Ministry of probate division of the Rivers State Judiciary, go there and then apply for letters of administration, which will now empower them, enable them to administer the estate of the deceased. This is done also in the what do you call it, customary court. It's also done in customary court. It's also done. There are some that is estate of the deceased that is handled under the Ministry of Justice. So these are areas where you can get those enablements by law to enable you deal on the late man's property.
So it's been a wonderful session, and thank you, sir, for joining us today. We really appreciate you, and I know you must have learned so much about land documentation, titling, and what have you, to enable you actually make your safe and informed real estate decisions. So till we'll come your way next time, remain Igolo Real Estate. Thank you, and bye for now.